Welcome back everyone to Ludus Infinium. Today we're going to do a different kind of lore video than I have been doing. I've been sitting on the first 6 Horus Heresy audiobooks and the PDFs for them. So I'm going to do a review at least of the first part of the first book, Horus Rising. If you like it, leave a like, show some love in the comments. If you don't like it, leave a dislike. Let me know what I can do to make it better. But for now, let's get in to Horus Rising, the first book of the Horus Heresy series. Part 1 opens with the phrase, I was there. I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. This is the beginning of a retelling of events on Terra, not Terra, but also Terra, by Garviel Loken. They warp into a system of 9 planets and find out that the third planet is called Terra, being led by the Emperor of Mankind. Even though the 63rd Expeditionary Force, led by Horus Lupercal, the now War Master, is being sent from the Emperor of Mankind from actual Terra to bring other humans into compliance. The story, though it starts off with a joke, quickly turns bad when Horus sends Hastu Sejanus to go and meet with the Emperor, and Sejanus ends up suggesting that there's another emperor, the actual Emperor of Mankind that sent out the expeditionary fleet. And I like the way my favorite Warhammer YouTuber, Arch Warhammer, kind of plays it up. I I'm not entirely sure it would play out in that manner that he says specifically, though that would be funny. But it basically is him saying, "We were sent by the Emperor." But the who? The Emperor of Mankind. But I'm the Emperor of Mankind. No, 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 no. The one who sent us, but I didn't send you. I know. We were sent by the actual Emperor of Mankind. Kill him. Kill him now. He has offended me. And and that's more along the lines of how I see it happening. A little kind of comical in parts, but I don't see it going to the point of how Arch Warhammer played it up, and I think he did play it up mostly for comic relief, and I love that he did. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying what he did was bad. I absolutely love the way he tells it. He is one of the best storytellers I've seen for 40K at least, and I have nothing but respect for the man. After Sejanus' murder, Horus thought, no, this is a mistake. This is a terrible, terrible mistake. We got. We don't need to resort to war. Let's send down another group to diplomatically try and solve this, whatever happened. In hope it was just a big miscommunication. The second envoy was led by Malachhurst, but at the same time, he ordered for the spear tip to be in assault range. So, if worse comes to worst and Malachhurst is met with the same kind of aggression or even killed, that the spear tip can go, okay, they don't want to talk, we will murder. And the Luna Wolves, which I believe is what they were still called at the time, had drawn lots to see who would lead the spear tip, and it was left up to 4 people. 3 members of the Mournival, which were Horus's kind of advisors, because the fourth one had died, which was Sejanus, and Garviel Loken. It was led by Ezekiel Abaddon, Tariq Torgadon, and Little Horus Aximand, as well as already mentioned Garviel Loken. They watched with anticipation as the shuttle convoy bearing Malakhurst and his group arced towards the planet and was shot out of the sky. Abaddon, he tried to make a final plea with the so-called Emperor, begging him to, like, hey, we don't want to have this fight. Just please, let's work this out. And after trying that last time, he goes back to Horus. He doesn't want to listen to us. And at that point, Horus sent down the command: illuminate him, my son, but spare all you can. That order notwithstanding, avenge the blood of my noble Sejanus. Decimate this emperor's elite murderers and bring this impostor to me. And at that point, the 63rd Expeditionary Force had declared war on Terra. In addition to the Astartes that were deployed, the Adeptus Mechanicum had also deployed 6 Titans to the battle. And Loken thinks back, this being their first taste of mass war since Olenor. In the time, they had skirmishes, small battles, but nothing huge, nothing grand scale. And due to the live drills and exercises that Loken had maintained, he had seen that at least 10th Company was not rusty and was not underperforming. But he misses, in a way, the Battle of Olenor, which was, granted, a hard fight, but all of the Luna Wolves' goal was ignore the mass of orcs, which had outnumbered the Astartes 5-1, and strike directly at the Overlord and his command group, leaving them headless and just with no leadership to, lead them. That's how the Luna Wolves primarily fought. That was one of their main battle doctrines, is find the leadership, eliminate it. Loken compared this to Olenor because it wasn't really the same. It wasn't fighting orcs. This was fighting humans, and it was fighting civilized humans. But he also found something interesting, and I'll read this directly from the script. This was modern warfare in a civilized place. This was man against man inside the monolithic precincts of a cultured people. The enemy possessed ordnance and firearms, every bit the technological match of the Legion forces, and the skill and training to use them. Through the green imaging of his visor, Loken saw armored men with energy weapons ranged against them in the lower courses of the palace. He saw tracked weapon carriages, automated artillery, nests of 4 or even 8 automatic cannons shackled together on cart platforms that lumbered forward on hydraulic legs. Not like Olenor at all. That had been an ordeal. This would be a test. Equal against equal, like against like. And he goes on to make one more comparison. There's one difference that brought the 63rd Expeditionary Force over the defenders of Terra. Except for all the technology, the biggest difference was the Astartes themselves. And he makes a joke, or he points out a joke further down. The only thing that can beat an Astartes is another Astartes. And they had all laughed at that. The impossible was nothing to be scared of. They believed at that time point it was physically impossible for an Astartes to fight another Astartes. But this is even more important. Even though they had similar power armor, they were just big men. These were not genetically enhanced legionnaires. They were just big, tall, burly, all of it. But again, no genetical enhancement. These were peak humans, not enhanced humans. And not even the tallest one of them came up to the chin of one of the Astartes. And he makes this little quote, and I like, not little quote, he makes this little thought, and I like this. It was like fighting children. Well, armed children, it had to be said. And I like the way he points out, because it's like fighting someone who only comes up to your chin. But you have a bigger gun than them. It's just, it's kind of a cutesy little thing how he words it that way. So, in the assault for the palace, they actually bring up something that's kind of funny now with current 40k going on. It's actually pretty hilarious. So, in their assault to the palace, Loken and 10th Company are the first ones to make it to the palace. Axeman and his 5th Company, they're pushing on where they need to. Torgeddon and his guys, they're pushing on where they need to. So, he does a vox call to Abaddon. Abaddon, also known currently as Abaddon the Despoiler, the current leader of the Black Legion, who is the one responsible for the 13 Black Crusades against the Imperium. And he says, 10th has entry. And I'm just going to read this directly again from the story. Loken, are you trying to shame me with your diligence? Not for a moment, First Captain. I'm playing with you, Loken. I'll meet you at the feet of this false emperor. First one to get there gets to illuminate him. And they mention this because, one, it shows Abaddon has some form of humor. And two, it shows that they're still at a point where they're competitive. They aren't, to the point where they're just going to outright kill each other. It's like, all right, whoever gets to this guy first, you get the credit. But if I get to him first, I get the credit and I get to rub it in because you had a head start. And Loken has kind of an internal moment here. And he says he felt blessed because Abaddon had actually opened up the competition to him. He never felt like he would be able to compete with him, and Abaddon's like, yeah, let's do this. He felt it's to put it into normal perspective, for at least for Americans, it's like when you go onto a football field and your favorite quarterback says, all right, you have a good arm. Let's have a little friendly competition. And that's kind of what they did. We follow Loken into the palace. He meets up with Nero Vipus, brother sergeant in command of 3rd Squad, also his oldest and truest friend. He asks, basically, what's the situation? 1 Astartes has been killed, 2 more wounded. Take me to what's happened. Vipus thinks it's an invisible with a high rate of fire gun. So, after doing a bit of digging, Loken discovers that it's actually an automated turret, and throws a flare past the turret. And while the turret is firing at the flare, he rips out some of its servos and calls the all clear. And at this point, we show a little bit more humor. And I'm going to read this again directly from the book. That's generally called showing off, Vipus remarked. Which way now? Vipus asked. We go find this emperor. Just like that? The first captain bet me I couldn't reach him first. The first captain, eh? Since when was Garvio Loken on pally terms with him? Since 10th breached the palace ahead of 1st? Don't worry, Nero. I'll remember you little people when I'm famous. They just kind of had this joke between friends. And this is something that they have some of in 40k stuff, but it's a lot rarer. And it's a lot harder to see some of this camaraderie. At least in what I've seen, it's rarer. That being said, this was part 1 of Horus Rising. If you made it this far, thank you all so very much. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know what specifically you liked or what I could do better. That being said, I will see y'all tomorrow.